Alrighty friends, we're going to be going over some new changes to the Facebook lead form objective in particular. Obviously, it wasn't obvious I'm in Bali at the moment, as you can probably tell by the coconuts behind me. But to the point, there's been quite a few really innovative and cool changes to the lead form objective, specifically in the presentation and also in how to actually structure and get more qualified leads. So I think Meta's done a really good job at listening to us marketers and business owners like yourself, in that sometimes lead forms can produce not the best quality leads. And so this is a way to further advance getting more qualified leads through lead forms. So let's jump straight into it. We're just going to look at my ads manager right here. And I'm going to assume you already know how to set up a Facebook lead form campaign in Facebook. If you don't, I've got another video on that. Otherwise, you can message me and I'll send you the video directly with a link to my YouTube. So we're going to go create form here. I'll just make myself a little bit smaller. And we're going to be presented with these options here. So you'll see there's education, professional services, and legal. Most of you are probably going to be using professional services, and I'll explain why in a sec. But rather than waffle on, let me just show you some of the changes that I think are really, really cool. So book a consultation. This is a consultant's funnel, which is something that I've used for years and years and years. And the difference is that when you go through to customize the form, you'll see there's a substantially bigger image right here that you can use, which will automatically pull the image or a still from your video and place it here. The headlines are substantially bigger. What I usually use for these headlines is to further convey the value they're going to get from submitting this form in that headline here, which is this one here. The overview section I use to list off more bonus points as to what they're getting, conveying more value and getting them to inquire in the form. Benefit section is similar, but what I would use this for is to outline the steps next. So in the overview section here, we're just going to write test. You'll see it pop up there. Benefits, you can write test, test, test. So I would write step 1, fill out the form. Step 2, this is what happened next. Step 3, this is what's going to happen next. And the reason I mention that is so that if you're really upfront and transparent about what's going to happen throughout this entire process and people still click submit, then there's no hidden costs. But they know they're going to receive a call. They know you're going to contact them. They know they're going to get an email. They know they're going to book a call on the next page. Do you know what I mean? As we go a little bit further down, we've got this build your story section, which is if we click one on, how it works. Similar to what we've done before, I've tested this twice now and it seems to be okay. But essentially you could go step 1, a description of step 1. You could go step 2 and a description of step 2 and all of those kind of things. But personally, I'm leaving that to this benefit section. Now, if we were to click on this product section here, you would be able to outline some of your courses, services, you're providing some kind of membership or some kind of flagship product, or perhaps even just a lead magnet. This is where you would put that in just to add some more context and build some hype around the perceived likelihood that someone's going to get value from submitting the form, right? This social proof section is a really exciting section. This is where you can manually put in Google reviews, Facebook reviews, video testimonials, all of that kind of stuff. All you would do is upload your image, maybe the reviewer's profile picture, or perhaps even just a picture of the review itself. You can write the reviewer's name, what they said, and you can add, I think, up to 5 different review cards in here, which we're testing out at the moment. Fingers crossed they work really well, but it looks beautiful. And the last little card here is incentive. So if you wanted to, I don't know, offer them some kind of free trial, if it was a lead magnet, just reconfirming that it is free. If you're offering a free call, saying that if they book the free call, they get a free X, Y, and Z, or a free consultation to solve XYZ problem, whatever you can think of, that's what you can use that for. Haven't personally tested this one as of yet, because we've got about obviously 3 of these other cards to test out first, but it is really promising. So I think for those of you out there who offer some kind of consultation, this would be an interesting one to test, to incentivize for them to not only submit the form, but to turn up for their consultation or discovery call, and in return you will give them something for free of immense value that doesn't cost you too much time. And then you've just got your standard questions that have always been here, but now you've got conditional logic. So it means that, for example, if they were to answer no, I don't have $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month to spend, if you're going to put that on there, and they click no to that, it would mean that it would disqualify them and they wouldn't be able to submit. So any really hard disqualification points or parameters within your qualification process or criteria, you might be able to pop that in here. And when they click no to that, it will kind of boot them out of the lead form so that you're not wasting each other's time, which is a good thing. Same as always, you've got contact details to actually reach out to them, privacy policy, and a thank you page, from which I would use this as a step 2 in the headline. And then what's going to happen next, what I want them to do next, which is click on this link below, and I would put in my discovery call booking link through Calendly. Next, you've got this qualifying form, which is pretty well what it says it is. It's already got the built-in conditional logic in there. So if we click on that and you scroll down, you'll see is your budget under 5,000. If you were to click no, it would automatically kind of boot them out of the form. So I don't know, it's up to you. Most of the time, if there's a really hard boundary as to whether you can or cannot work with someone, you can try this out. But you've also got to remember that if you haven't built enough trust for someone to give you this kind of personal information, even if they have that kind of budget, it's unlikely they'll submit. So it's up to you what you want to do there. Next, we've got this legal service section. So as we scroll down here, you've got an overview, services, what type of service they're interested in. This is obviously something that you can use if you offer multiple services. Tradies, I'm looking at you. So if you're an electrician and you do downlights, you might install solar, you might do a plethora of install power points or check fire alarms, plethora of different services. You might be able to pop that in there and save yourself a bit of time from, ringing up a customer going, hey, what do you need help with? You'll already have that information there, which can be quite helpful. As we go into education here, this is an interesting one. Obviously all centered around people going to college, university, different online schools, courses, all of that good stuff. It tends to have 2 main components, one being more for a lead magnet to download a brochure and one being for them to make an inquiry. So find prospective students would be more to get an inquiry. So complete this form to get information about programs, events, what's your highest level of education. So obviously the person who's providing the course can get an understanding as to where the potential student's at. How would you like to take the course? So online, on campus, both. You can have a lot of fun with this one and build it out quite substantially, which, depending on who you follow, me personally, I like to qualify leads by asking a lot more questions than the general marketer, because obviously if you were to ask them 10 questions instead of just 2, you require them to invest more time, and so the intent is a lot higher, yeah? And so the offer a course catalog is exactly that. Get a free brochure. It's like a lead magnet for a student interested in a course, right? So that's all for today's video. I hope that was helpful. We're testing this new lead form function really, really vigorously. Immediately we're having sensational results, but I do think that's because this being a new feature by Meta, Facebook and Instagram, that we've kind of got this window of opportunity to use a new feature. Just as you may already know, when they bring out a new feature and you use it because they want to get some understanding as to how it's working as well, you tend to get better results in the short term. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Let me know how you would use this. If you have any questions, ask them below, and I'll talk to you soon.